Hi there. Some years ago, I used these tubes for high pressure to make some lamps. They have these connections that have already threads on them, and the tube you buy with them with 3 meters long, and you have to thread them. I bought the manual tool to make the threads, and I really thought that I could make it, but these are very hard and thick wall tubes, and I could not make it. I had to hire a machinist to do this on a lathe, and it ended up not being so practical. So in this video, I'm going to try something that I've never done. I've never seen anybody done. I'm going to use these scraps of teak that I have from my daily projects, and I'm going to thread them and connect them to these connections. I don't know if it works. I don't know if is it even possible, if the wood's gonna hold, if the wood is too soft, too hard, if the tool's gonna make the threads on them. I have no idea. So this is gonna be a react of myself. So either way, if it works, if it doesn't work, I'm gonna show you the end result, and let's see what can we make of this. So the first step is I need to round over the two tips of the wood to this diameter. This is a 1-inch tube, but for whatever reason, it doesn't have a 1 inch. It's not 1 inch in diameter on the outside or on the inside. On the outside is 33.5 millimeters, and on the inside is a little bit over 27. So I don't know where the 1 inch comes from. But the idea is, for now, to round over only the tips so I can make the threads and leave the rest squared. See if it looks okay. If not, I can round over later. But if I go to the lathe to round this over, these fibers are gonna break. So I'm gonna go to the table saw and make a little dado so they won't break. And I'm already gonna put the measurement of 33.5 on the inside so I can have a reference on the lathe. So the idea is one upright, the 90-degree turn, another one, 90-degree turn, and the socket for the light bulb. At the time when I made those lamps, I installed the lamp sockets on these reductions from 1 inch to 1.25. So they are already glued in. So I'm gonna use this that I already have. Now that this small groove is done at the height that I need it, I need to round over the two edges here in the lathe, and I need to drill a hole through the whole piece so the wiring can go through. So here's the hole through the smaller piece. Now let's do the bigger piece. Now that the two tips are rounded, I'm gonna use a flat drill bit to put a hole through the whole piece, and I'm gonna use a 3/8 flat drill bit and 3/8 so I can leave enough thickness on the wall here so it won't get weak when I attach it to the connections, to the steel connections. This piece is 250 millimeters, that's 10 inches. And I'm gonna have to drill from both sides and hope they will meet in the middle. So the other piece is now drilled, and this is the moment of truth. Am I gonna be able to put the threads on it? Let's see. So this is the tool that's used to make threads on tubes, on pipes. And the idea is you go through here, and these two pieces make the threads according to the diameter of the tube that you're going to use. And the tube has to go through here. Since the diameter of a pipe or a tube is constant, this works as a guide, so it goes straight into it and there's no problem. However, I only rounded over and put in to the measurement only the part that I wanted the thread on, so it won't get to there. I still have at least 40 millimeters, almost 2 inches, that I have to round over. And since the idea was to leave it squared, but 40 here, 40 here, it's gonna look a little bit weird. So I'm gonna have to round over the whole thing on both pieces, especially the small one. So, as I said, never done this before. Learning as I go along. I finished rounding over the whole piece, but when I put it in the tool to make the threads, it started to work like a pencil sharpener. As a last act of desperation, I tried to put it in the 90-degree turn, and it started to want to go in, and there are some traces of a thread going in the wood. So I'm gonna do a small chamfer here, and this is gonna be a Hail Mary pass because if it doesn't work, I'm gonna have to abort the project. So let's see what happens. I did some tests off camera using this connection, trying to make the threads with it on the wood, and as you can hear it, it was a success. It's very tight and straight, but the threads on the wood are not very deep, so I don't know if this is something I'll keep doing in the future, but it's possible to finish the project. So I'm gonna make another one Because of this, I can keep my original plan of just doing the round over on the two tips and keeping the whole piece square for now. So I'm gonna make a new one as I did originally, and keep going from there and try to finish this lamp. So that now that the new piece is prepared, let's try it again. So it works. The threads are still not very deep, but it's very tight and it's squared. So it works. I had to use the pipe tool. I don't know the name in English. If you know the name in English, give me a shout. But it works. See, it's very tight. It's even making a lot of noise. I don't want to tighten all because I'm still have some things planned for this piece and I still have to do the other part, but it works. It's gonna be very tight, and let's do the rest. So the other side is done. It gets easier. It was a lot easier than the first one. And now it's just one thing. You have to make the tip a little bit narrow so it can get in to the connection and it's gonna start going down. If you don't, the pieces, the steel piece is gonna move around and maybe get crooked or something, and so just a little bit, 2 millimeters less, and it works fine. So now I gotta do this one. Just make it a little bit narrower, make the tip even narrower, and finish up. Small detail, as if you use this method, as you can see here, inside the threads, there are some scraps of wood, some chips of wood. And the piece hits up a lot because of the friction. So it's kind of like a drill bit when you're trying to drill a very hard wood. So it gets stuck in there. And I was gonna do one of the threads and I didn't see it, and it got kind of loose. So every time you do it, you need to clean it up. Kind of a pain to get it out, but otherwise the wood doesn't have anywhere to go, so it won't cut the wood the way you want it to. So you need to clean that up as you go along. So I tested out on another piece of wood with a round over bit, 19 millimeters or 3/4, and it's gonna be very close to the diameter of this connection. So let's see how it's gonna look later. So we got the piece done. So it's gonna be a little bit bigger than the connection, but looks better than the square one. So now it's just do the other one. So here's the other one. So you have to be careful because you're going with the grain. The fibers tend to split, and be careful with your fingers, where your fingers are, because the router bit tends to pull the piece into it, and if you don't pay attention, your fingers are gonna go into the bit and it's gonna hurt. So be careful. The idea is to mount this into this base, but I still need a place to put the light socket in. So I'm gonna prepare this little block and put the light socket inside and screw this to the curved tube. So the piece for the light socket is done. So it goes in here and screwed on here. So now I need to mount this in the base, and I need to drill a hole from the underside so I can fit this light switch in the base. After that, I'm just gonna round over the base with the same router bit that I use here, sand it, finish it, and assemble the whole thing. So the hole to accommodate the switch, it's done. So it's gonna go in here. Already made the holes for all the wiring. So it goes in here, and here is gonna go up to the light bulb. And but now I need to make a cover for this hole. So this is 3mm MDF with a laminate applied on it. So I'm gonna make a groove using this router bit around the hole so I can make a cover out of it. So I said that I'm gonna round over the top of the base, but the hole for the wiring is gonna be on the way of the bearing of the router bit. So since this is a 3/8 hole, I'm gonna put a plug in it, a wooden plug in it, cut it, round over, and then I just gonna drill a hole through the plug, and it's gonna break. So it's gonna come out of the hole. Agora que tá arredondado já, é só fazer um furinho aqui que a própria cavilha vai quebrar. So now just put a little pocket here so I can put the cover in the piece. So this is done. I'm gonna straighten them out with the chisel because if I put a round cover on, I'm gonna have to use a hole saw, and then I'm gonna have a hole in the middle. If I don't put the drill in the middle, I'm gonna have the edges all messed up because the hole saw is gonna vibrate. So I'm gonna square this pocket so that the cover can go in. So here is the lamp, all done, all assembled and working. I like this old style light bulb with the filaments incandescent. Um, it was a little bit hard to do at first because it was the first time and I had to figure my way out. But I think the threads Um, Easy to do. uh, when you get the hang of it. It's completely viable to do it again. It looks great, especially with this light bulb. And this is it. If you like it, give that thumbs up, subscribe, activate the bell. See you next time.